Hello everybody and welcome to another video. So there's been a slight change of plan in the Supercharger build, namely in the order of the videos. As the title suggests, today we're actually going to be unboxing the Supercharger parts instead of doing the fuel pump video. The reason for the delay is I want to run a return fuel system. This is going to mean that the car can run much more reliably and potentially make a little bit more power. My original plan was to just modify the housing and not do the return fuel system, but I've had a change of heart speaking with my tuner. I'm going to talk to you guys in more detail on the importance of return fuel systems when I do get to the fuel pump video, which hopefully the first part of that will be coming up a week or two after this one. But instead today we're going to talk about the Topguns Ace kit. We're going to unbox it. I'm going to show you what all comes in the kit. So the Supercharger kit that we're looking at today is Topguns Ace kit. This is the second version of the Supercharger kit that he offers for the VQ platform for the 370Zs as well as the G37. The 370Z kit is now available on his website, which I have a link in the description below to. The G37 is currently in design right now. Hopefully that kit should be up pretty soon. I believe I heard that he is working out the final details on that, so hopefully he'll be able to take orders for the G37 soon as well. There were two big ideas behind the second version of his kit. One was ease of installation, and that comes from the fact that you no longer have to deal with Stillen's intake manifold. Originally he integrated Stillen's intake manifold from the original Stillen Supercharger kit into his build, but the problem is there are a bunch of blind bolts on that intake manifold that make it extremely difficult to install. The Y pipe that you also had to use to run from the intercooler was a little bit awkward to integrate into the engine bay. So he's eliminated all of that by using the factory manifold in the 370Z, which is already proven to be able to hold the boost. That makes installation much easier for this car. There's also increased performance gains from an integrated larger intercooler. The fact that we're using the factory manifold also means you're going to get a little bit of added benefit as well. There won't be as much heat soak from a metal manifold since we're going to be using the plastic plenum. And the plastic plenum is also just overall better designed for the 370Z in general, so hopefully we can get some better flow from it. Other added benefits include the fact that he has upgraded to larger intakes leading up to the throttle bodies to help prevent the MAF sensors from maxing out. And he has also, I believe, limited the amount of frame cutting that you're going to need to do to make ease of installation easier. We'll see how that plays out as we get to the install video coming up pretty soon. Let's get to the unboxing. So this is the complete kit that he provides. It's going to include a supercharger and all the intake plumbing. He is eventually going to offer for his version 2 kit an upgrade so that any of you guys who are currently running his version 1 will be able to upgrade to all of the added benefits that he has with this newer kit. And I believe he's also going to offer the air-to-air conversion for this V2 kit as well. Last I checked, none of that's available on his site yet, but hopefully that should be going up pretty soon. Alright, so we're going to start by unboxing this larger box here. So judging by the size of this box, I do believe that this should contain the intercooler as well as a lot of the intake piping. So let's check it out. First impressions, things seem to be wrapped really nicely. There's quite a lot of shipping and packing stuff in here. So the first thing I want to talk about is the intake plumbing. You can actually request that your intake plumbing be colored. So he offers on his website to either have it in just the regular aluminum, you can do it in black or in red. Those are the only options that he currently has on the site, but I special requested that he have it done in white, and the color on this looks absolutely beautiful. The welds look pretty good as well. This is custom built. It's not something that's mass fabricated, so some welding is kind of to be expected, but the welding looks really nice. The color came out beautiful, and I'll be curious to see how this color holds up as it begins to get heat cycled. If the paint doesn't hold up in the future, I can always just go back and get it repainted, so no big deal there. But we'll have to see how that works out in the future. The bits of piping that are going to be underneath the car and not on the top of the engine bay are going to be left in your standard aluminum finish here because you won't really be able to see them, so it doesn't matter. Again, welding looks absolutely beautiful. No concerns here about any leaks or anything from the plumbing. So let's see what else we got in here. Obviously, you're going to get tons of silicone hosing. This is to make the connections in between the intercooler as well as the various intake pipes. Again, we have more intake plumbing here. This is going to be a section that actually attaches to the throttle body. We can see the ports for the MAF sensor there as well. What's interesting about this piece is the odd shape of the intake plumbing here. I believe it is formed like this so that it can fit around some of the different components that are going to be in the car, but we'll see how all that fits together later. Included in this kit is going to be various oil lines as well as what appear to be vacuum lines, and we'll figure out the purpose of these as we get to the install video. And then we've also got a couple of boxes in here. I believe I see the intercooler on the bottom here, as well as probably some hardware. So let's open this up and see what we got. So we have a coolant catch tank here as well as a little bit of hardware. The intake plumbing that is going to be part of the Supercharger kit means we're going to have to relocate the coolant reservoir in the car. So this is going to help us do that. So let's check out the other box that we have here. We also have a large box of hardware. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. We just have tons of hose clamps in here that are going to be used to help install all of the different hosing and things in the car. We've got a box of smaller hose clamps here as well, and some other mounting brackets and things which I believe are going to help us install our intercooler, which should be the last box that we have in here. And last but not least is the intercooler. This intercooler is a little bit larger than the one that came on the version 1 of the kit. It is the largest one that could actually fit in our bumpers. The cooling capacity of this is hopefully going to be a bit better as well because the density of these cooling fins is a little bit higher. We're going to have the single inlet here coming from our Supercharger with the 2 outlets going to both of our throttle bodies. He's also added a nice little touch by integrating the Topguns logo there, TG, on a plaque right there on the top of the intercooler. So looks absolutely nice. I like the finish on this. Looks pretty good. I can't wait to get this installed and see how it performs. Alright, so now that I've got all that mess cleaned up, let's get to the last box here. This should contain the Vortech V3 Supercharger that we're going to be installing on the car. So in this first box we have some of the supporting components for the Supercharger. We have first and foremost the turbo guard here. So you get just the turbo guard mesh as well as what looks like a filter sock to go over it. Speaking with Aaron, you can add more of these socks if you want to try and help increase the amount of filtration to the engine, but every sock you add is going to mean that you're going to lose, I think it was roughly about a pound of boost. You can also run with just the turbo guard if you're trying to get your max boost and the most performance out of the engine. So we've got that in here. We've also got what looks to be another supporting bracket, as well as a routing pulley here, or this might actually be the upgraded pulley for the Supercharger. We'll figure out where this goes in the install video, as well as some lines here in some of the supporting hardware, which means we should have the Supercharger itself just down here. And then this is what's going to make it all happen, guys. We have a Vortech V3 Supercharger. The supercharger of choice for this kit is the Vortech V3 Pro Charger. This is the exact same unit that came on the original Supercharger kit that's still released so many years ago for the 370Z as well as the G37. It's capable of up to 52,000 RPMs, can get you to about 27 pounds of boost, close to about 800 horsepower. We are going to be shooting for a modest 525 to the wheels at about 13 to 14 pounds of boost, and this unit is going to be more than capable of getting us there. It comes pre-installed on the mounting brackets that you need for easy installation on the car. Super excited to get this on the vehicle. It's going to look so good underneath the hood. So that is a quick look at the Topguns Supercharger kit. Super excited to get all this stuff on the vehicle. That white on the intake piping is going to look really amazing on the Z. Can't wait to see it underneath the hood. This is a build that I've been waiting for so long. I'm glad Aaron has been able to put so much time and effort into getting such a nice kit made for this VQ platform. Along with the base kit, you can also get a lot of the supporting mods on Gun Speedworks website in the link down below. You can get your fuel injectors as well as your fuel pump taken care of to make this build a reality. There is also some other supporting mods like potentially a fuel return system or an oil cooler. These things I actually talk about in this Supercharger install series, so make sure you watch this whole series of videos all the way through to get an idea of what it takes to make this build happen. Aaron is also planning on making the air-to-air conversion kit available so that if you happen to have a still-in supercharged 370Z, you can easily upgrade to air-to-air with his kit and make a ton more power over the original still-in kit. I believe there's also talk of making an upgrade kit available, so if you have his old version of the kit, you can upgrade to the newer version and get a little bit more power out of it. So super excited for this build, guys. The next thing I need to do is I do need to finalize all the fuel pump upgrades. As I said, I am at a bit of a standstill while I wait for that fuel return system to come in. I could easily just ignore the fuel return system and do the 340 liter power fuel pump, but I do want to do this build properly and try and maximize the amount of power that I can get out of it and make the car as reliable as possible. I owe that to you guys, I owe that to myself. So in the meantime, I'm actually planning on trying to port my intake manifold so that way we can try and maximize the amount of power gains that we can get with forced induction. So you can probably expect to see a video on that if all goes well. After that, I just need to do the injectors. Fuel pump video needs to go up, which I might break up into 2 because there is quite a lot of content there. And then after that, we'll finally be installing the supercharger kit. So as always guys, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to follow along with the 370Z build, and see y'all in the next one. Later.